Minimum Rage.
Minimum Rage.
Guys, we finally decided on the name.
I think it's a good one.
I think so too. So we have officially decided on. Hold it up for the camera. Hold it up so the camera can see. Yes. Hold on, let me focus on it. There we go. Nice. Minimum Rage. We have decided to name the podcast, and the podcast is hereby, therefore, officially named from this point forward, henceforth, as Minimum Rage.
Unless it changes.
Unless we decide against it. Episode 6.
Rage!
Is that where we're at?
Yeah, we're episode 6, my friend.
I think I've kind of always wanted to be a shock jock, so rage!
Okay.
Right, that's what you do.
Yes.
You just...
I'm glad that I could help you accomplish yet one more dream as your husband. From husband to wife. Rage!
Rage!
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys don't need buttons. You just... I'll do it.
Yeah, just hang out while we record with a microphone.
Can I have a soundboard? Just
Yeah.
I don't talk much in the podcast anyways. Like at least like
Yeah.
I'm sweating.
Joining us today
This is
on the Minimum
sweaty.
Rage podcast
Minimum Rage!
is my sweaty wife, Mary.
band name.
My sweaty wife.
Oh,
Band
my
name?
sweaty wife?
On
It's
tour
like
now
My
with
Bloody Valentine.
Valentine.
My sweaty wife.
It's a My Bloody Valentine tribute.
Yes.
Yeah, and the record's still called Loveless. Oh, man. What a concept. What a concept. So, my sweaty wife.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks
How
for
are
having
you?
me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good. My baby's napping.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
So just so everybody who's listening that can't see us on video, or even I don't even think it's on video. It's not.
It's not. You can see me.
Yeah, I can see you, and that's it. By the way, if you're only listening and you're not viewing us on YouTube, you can view us on YouTube and other social medias. So you should do that. You should enjoy it in a visual way as well.
Rage with us.
Rage with us.
On all of the social media.
Yeah, rage on. So yeah, we have our baby monitor with us because our child is napping inside the house, and we are in the back house podcast studio situation.
So if the poltergeist gets her.
Absolutely. Or if, the podcast just suddenly cuts, that's why. I don't think it would suddenly cut.
No. I mean, unless the poltergeist can pick her up or something.
There's typically a few nights until it gets to that point.
Okay.
According to what's that movie series? That was awful. Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
I probably just pissed a couple of people off that are like, that movie is great.
I never saw Paranormal Activity.
I thought we watched
It's weird
one
because
of
it
them.
started as a single storyline that they forced to be a long, I think there's 6 now.
Oh, like Fast
and it's
and the Furious.
yes.
they
And they forced
it.
that first one to fit into the storyline. There's time travel and all kinds of stuff.
I don't know. Maybe we should watch it to hate on it.
It's a fun one to watch not sober.
Okay. Oh man, I don't know. Okay, so there's some thriller type movies that I don't really do well with, and it's psychological thrillers. I'm usually no, thank you. I don't want to think about this.
Do they
way
dull
too
your
much.
sparkle?
They dull my sparkle. Don't dull my sparkle. That's not.
Andrew
that's one
likes
of the,
rom-coms.
I love rom-coms.
Cheesy,
do.
Adam Sandler rom-coms?
It
or
depends. What
you
did we
seem
just watch?
Listen, Andrew doesn't pick the rom-coms. He just doesn't make them go away.
And they present themselves to me
Yeah,
via
mysteriously.
algorithms.
Via your wife.
Via my
hitting play.
wife by hitting play. And then I just have to lay there while it happens to me.
But you get into it and you enjoy it.
Yeah, which is often, what are we talking about? That sounds so
What
questionable.
was the movie you refused to let go of the other night? The Tiny Perfections of...
Oh, yeah, a map of tiny perfect things or something like that. It's on Amazon. It was, 6.5 out of 10. 7 out of 10. I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Some
a C
episodes
minus.
we are a car manufacturer rating system. Some we're a movie rating system. You never know.
I'm cool with this.
I'll rate whatever you want me to rate.
That's right. Minimum rate.
Minimum rate.
Yeah.
Bow, 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 bow. Living the
man.
dreams.
Living the dream. So, Minimum Rage is a podcast where we discuss.
My hands are still sweaty.
My sweat.
She was trying to dry off her hands and just blew directly into the mic, interrupting me. It's all right. It's a pleasure to have you on the podcast, my love. So, Minimum Rage is a podcast. In this podcast, we talk to people about their jobs, their previous job experiences, their stories that they have from said previous jobs.
Mm-hmm.
If you are new to the podcast, this is kind of the format that we go about. Also, whatever ridiculousness happens along the way, we're just cool with it. So, thank you for coming on, Mary. My wife, my love, my sweaty wife. Tell us about your experiences that you've had.
Well, it started back in 2003. I was a young
Was
waitress.
that Arms of the Angel? Oh my God, that was good.
I was a young waitress.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, no, yeah. At Waffle House. Oh, am I not supposed to say like the name of the establishment?
I mean,
it.
it's fine. I'll mute it out.
The House of Waffles. I mean, I
Ah.
don't care.
International
gonna
House
do
of
to us?
Waffles.
I don't
just
work
send a
for them
health
anymore.
Inspector over there.
And it's Waffle House. Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I don't need them.
Yeah,
to-
House isn't coming off after us.
They're not on my resume anymore.
Yeah.
So I mean, Waffle House is typically in near like highways or what's Route 1 considered? What is that?
Interstate. Yeah. So we're
Interstate?
talking. Yeah. So when so my wife's from Maryland, northern Maryland.
Yeah.
Like north of Baltimore,
Damn Yankee.
and
Some people would argue.
actually, yeah, I was gonna say
Yankees
it's just south of the Mason-Dixon line.
Really?
Yeah.
It is. It's Mason-Dixon line, Pennsylvania, Maryland.
Yeah.
And my hometown.
It's right
You know,
there.
I'm going to be honest. I just had Maryland and Maine swapped.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
They start with M's.
You know,
and I
one of the-
failed
Maine,
geography.
Massachusetts.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, when we first met, like, there was a thought that popped up in my brain when you were like, "Oh, I'm from Maryland." I was just like, "Oh, it's like super cold there," and then I was like, "No, I'm
No,
thinking
no.
of Boston, like Massachusetts."
Yeah, a lot of people go too north.
Yeah. It's easy to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we're more north than like I think we are. I
Yeah.
think we're more south sometimes. But then when I see Maryland on the map, I'm like, oh,
Yeah. So it's like like just north of DC, just north of Baltimore. That's like right where, your story starts. That's where it's taking
this
place.
is taking place in Harford County,
Harford
Maryland.
County, Maryland. That's right.
House. First house this town has ever seen. You know, it was shiny. It was new. A bunch of high schoolers working it.
I cannot imagine what a shiny new house looks like.
I feel like they have to go around and like dump a bucket of grease before they open because
No.
otherwise you're not getting the full house experience.
Yeah,
No,
you need
you have
yellow
to-
tiles.
No.
know?
You got that needs to be authentic grease, like that builds up
Sure.
over the years.
Oh, so it's like distressed jeans.
yeah.
Make you a
You
shirt
can't
that
just
says-
like
House purist. Authentic gross.
I just
Authentically gross.
I watched a house from its beginning, you know? So
Yeah.
like and they put a lot of thought into it, a lot of training and cleaning and like it was intense.
I believe it. I can't even imagine what a day in the life of like working a house looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Moving on.
It's wild. It's a wild, sweaty mess.
Yeah.
I made a lot of money though.
Really?
The house, the big bucks.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. One time I was cleaning my room and I found a wad of $400.
How do you just lose a wad of $400?
I was 16. I didn't need to keep track of my money like that, I guess. I didn't
All
have
right.
bills. I didn't have rent. I just had money. Like it was just,
You're just
and I was just,
Money's no object to me.
I mean, I
So-
was living it up back
so
then.
basically, we highly recommend anyone who's looking for a job who's 16, like go to house. You will make stacks on stacks on
I-
stacks.
I don't know that I'd recommend it.
Okay, we wouldn't go that far. Okay,
You
why not?
definitely have to have the spine to work at
You
house.
do.
Yes.
Like you have to have a certain level of bravery just to eat there.
Which takes me to my story of having a spine. So the whole point of it being on like the interstate, you know, near like these routes that truckers or truckers, people who are traveling those roads, right? And so we would have cops frequent Waffle House, as you do at Waffle House. You have the police, and state troopers would come in, and they were terrible. The local guys were great. They took care of us. They were real kind. They kept their eye on us, in a good way, like a big brother.
Older brother.
And an older brother.
Yeah, there's a distinction between big brother and older brother.
Yeah, they weren't surveillancing us. They had our backs.
As far as you know.
It's got a point.
Yeah. Well, the state trooper guys, the jerks, right? They were the ones. They were like, if they didn't like you, they right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm serving these guys, and one of them, they're like the jocks, you know what I mean? The guys at school where you just want to punch in the nuts or something.
Sure.
Asked if we sold pancakes.
Well, no shit.
No, we don't sell pancakes. Well, why don't you sell pancakes? Because we are Waffle House, sir. Well, IHOP sells pancakes. And I said, well, you are more than welcome to go to IHOP.
Yes,
the International House of Pancakes.
Yeah. Go.
Or burgers, depending on the time frame.
True.
You can get all kinds of stuff. Just like Waffle House, but we just don't have the pancakes, right? And he said something about if I cared if he went to IHOP. And I was like, no. It's not like you're paying for your food. No, I don't care. And then one of his guys, I came back to the table, and the other cop picks up my pant leg and asks me what size shoe I'm wearing. Ew, don't touch me. I think I even said that. I was like,
how old were you at this time?
So this had to have been later, and this had to have been in college, I think, because there was there's more to this. There's more to this interaction beyond just this one interaction. And I think I was in college at this point. 19 maybe, 19, I think. Anyway. And then, as we were saying, I was very north in Harford County, and there's the Conowingo Dam. And on the other side of the dam, it's a little more woodsy, if you get my drift. little backwoodsy.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Soul to the earth.
Little hillbilly-ish.
Sure.
Start getting to the Appalachian almost.
Well, we are the but just people who are living more rurally, right? Yeah. And the cop asked me, he goes, "Are you from Tennessee or the other side of the dam?" Basically asked me what kind of hillbilly I was, right? Well, little did he know, my great-grandfather is from Tennessee, sir. So if he heard twang or if he was calling me trash, I don't know. Either way, I knew he was being a jerk.
Yeah, the joys of working food service at a house.
I mean, they just assume you're trash, and it's all right. At Waffle House Diner, I'm pretty sure it's probably not attracting the most highbrow people to work for them, but you've been to my hometown.
I sure have.
It was we were just kids,
lovely
just
town.
a bunch of kids working there. There was no reason.
Yeah,
they just didn't like that I wasn't licking their boots, basically.
Yeah, sometimes the police officers aren't always the most respectful. Yeah.
No, very entitled. I don't know, just gross. So then they come back. This is done. We're done with this. I'm like, that was a terrible interaction. I even called my dad. I was in the freezer, walk-in freezer moment for me of raging. Raging.
Minimum rage.
And my dad was like, you let me know when they come back up there,
Yeah.
We were PO'd over this interaction. It was just disrespectful. Who are you? Well, they come back and they ask another dumb question, what's the difference between buttermilk waffles and whatever waffle, regular waffle? And my friend turned to me, she goes, "Hey Mary, what's the difference with the buttermilk versus the regular?" And I was probably about to be one's buttermilk, You know what I mean? And he goes, don't ask her. She don't know nothing. And I'm just like, I don't know what I did to you, man, except for exist and like just not care if you ate here or not. Like, I let you know. Customer service above and beyond. I told you where you can get pancakes.
I sent you to another restaurant,
I
sir.
recommended another establishment to get you what you wanted.
You are the breakfast food concierge to the police department.
I mean, first off, if you go to a house and expect like great quality customer service, you're going to the wrong place. No diss against Waffle House.
What part of I just gave excellent customer service did you just miss?
I mean, you did. You went above and beyond. But most houses I went to, if you ask for pancakes, they tell you to fuck off. Like,
yeah, I wonder if he thought that's what I said because I really didn't care.
Right.
I thought his question was stupid, and my face probably let him know that I thought his question was really fucking dumb.
Sure. Yeah.
You're at the house. Why are you asking for pancakes? To be a jerk. That's why. But you're not pulling me over, so you have no power over me. So, same guys arrest one of my coworkers.
What?
Yeah. I'm sure she was doing something she shouldn't have been doing. Like, I'm not saying she, who knows? Not the best. This was overnight staff. Like,
different crowd
from the high
Sure.
schoolers and the young college students. Like,
Sure. Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mix well with the heathens. What do we say?
Oh, yeah,
We
yeah.
mingle
No, we
with-
like to mingle with the heathens.
Yeah. So, like,
It's true.
I took on the night shift. There was a point where I was working like 6 jobs at once. Oh, yeah, that's a factor of the story. Like, I was working
Yeah.
24/7.
There was a moment in your life where you were how many jobs at once?
6. 6, and not all of them paid.
How is that possible?
Well, working for the theater.
Oh,
I was
sure.
doing my
Okay.
my
It was
theater
by choice.
school. Yeah,
They're
that
not,
was by
like,
choice.
Holding out on you.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
No, some of that work was my schooling.
Gotcha.
So school, theater, paid theater, babysitting, hair salon, house, catering. Yeah. So my patience was probably also very thin,
Yeah.
most likely.
I mean, how much sleep are you getting tonight?
4 hours
4 hours
at a
tops.
time, for sure.
Gotcha.
I remember that.
And you were also taking classes?
Yeah.
There are some times that you just hear stories that are like this, and you're just like, okay, so someone literally was left with a circumstance where it's like 6 jobs plus school made sense to somebody at some point in time, and it's not that wild. And then you're just like, okay, the system's like, dismantle it, like it's failed.
Yeah. It was terrible. Yeah. But I got it done.
You did.
I got out of my debt. I forgot that I was doing automatic withdrawals for my classes, and then I wasn't.
Right.
I was depositing money but not getting anything out of it, so I had to
remember you
go
told
into
me about that.
overdrive.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I could actually put food in my stomach and gas in my tank without like begging money from my parents because I don't.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I didn't do that ever.
Yeah, I remember when you told me the story, like when we first met, and you're like, the time that I was able to put like gas in my car
All the
and
way up.
get like
Full
all the
tank.
all the way up, not a half tank of gas. We're talking full
Not
ass tank of
$5.
gas.
Not
that's coming out of your like 18, 19. That's a big deal. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I just put $50 in my tank.
Oh, that can be huge. That can be huge.
Yeah, it was a good day. Filled up my tank, paid all the bills I need to pay. Probably got my phone turned back on. That was grammatically wrong. Turned my phone back on. Bought a sandwich with chips and a drink.
Wow.
Big day.
Big day. Big day.
I might have been able to buy a little.
Something.
Maybe, but like I was
Yeah.
being very responsible. So like if I couldn't, I didn't.
Sure.
But if I could, I probably did.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, way to go. Also, what the fuck?
I know. I don't think I cannot do that ever again.
No.
Like, I'm dreading getting a job while also being a mother.
Yeah. So just
Dreading
to
it.
fill everybody in, this podcast is just something that we do with our free time. We are not currently getting paid for this.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But Mary has been home with our new daughter,
6-month-old.
6-month-old
Prodigy.
baby. Yep, prodigy. She's never gonna do anything wrong.
That's not what prodigy means.
No, but still, prodigy. Yeah, she's
a
also a
genius
prodigy.
at
She's
being a
a
baby.
genius at being a baby, doing baby stuff.
Those
She
neck
just-
muscles.
She kills it every day.
The best,
So good.
those
Look
neck
at her
lifts.
sleeping like a champ.
like a champ.
Took
So
her a
yeah,
minute, but-
so you've been home with the child for 6 months,
Yeah.
and then before that, you were working at a grocery store.
Yeah.
I currently work at a grocery store. We are a grocery working family.
Oh my God, my mom worked at a grocery store.
Your mom retired from working at a grocery store. She worked like how long? 10, 12 years, something like that?
Oh God, it might have been 20 years.
20 years.
Oh my god.
It might have been 20
I
years.
could barely do a year at the Grosh.
Oh man,
Yeah.
but this is before they reunionize. Like my mom's benefits and pay were like,
The
and then
best.
at one point was like, oh, we can't do this, and they changed the contract. But she was like grandfathered in. She didn't lose anything that she had.
Yeah, her
earned.
benefits were like amazing.
Yeah,
I remember her telling me about it, and I was just like, I can't believe that is actually a thing. And like the amount that she made was also like bonkers.
Yeah. No more though. You can't find that there anymore.
Oh, yeah,
they
you
made sure.
absolutely
They
can't.
made sure to fix that.
It was
That's
unionized. I don't know if it was unionized everywhere.
Oh, okay.
But like,
her
Yeah.
places. They were
That's
a
rad.
union.
yeah, that is rad.
It kept her
I'm a
there
fan.
for too long because terrified of losing her pay and those benefits.
Right.
She couldn't walk away from a job that drove her to insanity. Let's just say it. Like there were a couple
Yeah.
factors in there, but that job, but she couldn't walk away. She was scared to walk away. Minimum rage.
Minimum rage.
That was
Yeah.
awful. So the cops picked up my coworker and then said, "Where is Skunkhead?"
Oh,
I had dark hair with like these blonde. This is early 2000s.
yeah, early 2000s.
Skunk head.
chunky blonde pieces. And she was like, "I don't know." And he goes, "Don't worry, we'll find her," or something like that. So that's that story. Yeah, dude, I know.
Did you ever find out why they said that?
Because they're dicks.
Well, yes, they're cops. You just
No, that's it. They didn't like that I wasn't licking their boots. And so therefore I was a piece of trash to them. I was not sitting there being like, "Please, please take me into your cop car. Like, please. I love you, police officers."
Will you do the sirens for me?
Yeah. Oh, I have a funny story about that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kirby. Did that wake you up?
So I also worked
Please.
for Waffle House.
really?
I was gonna say, I was like, hold, wait,
No idea, dude. That's pretty rad. You should tell
Wait.
us a story about that.
yeah.
You tell this one at parties.
I've smoked a lot of weed in my day. Have I mentioned that I worked for Waffle House?
You did.
No, Wawa.
Wawa.
What is
yes.
Wawa?
Wawa is
Is-
the greatest gas station that will ever exist. I know,
So-
like,
Buc-ee's exists. Sir.
okay, yeah.
So
I
Wawa
understand that
is-
Busey's is like a thing in Texas. How do you pronounce it?
Buc-ee's?
Oh,
Oh.
it's Busey's. I thought.
Yeah, I thought it was
It's
Busey's.
How do you spell it?
Buccees?
Busey.
No, it's
Yeah.
Buc-ee's.
Yeah, Buccees. I think. Yeah, Busey's.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. With their
Buc-ee's
with
the
their
beaver.
with their chipmunk.
I hate both of you.
So okay, I'm a native
Podcast
Texan.
over.
I just wanted to see like how many people we could just enrage.
Well, you got at least one.
Minimum enrage. Yeah.
Minimum rage.
Now I'm sweaty.
No, it's- yeah.
Buc-ee's got me going.
It's like, hold on.
Hold the phone.
It's a
Buc-ee's. Yeah. So Busey's, and I understand that like living in Texas, like, you know, it's like they've got very nice restrooms.
Great restrooms.
Great
Oh my
restrooms.
God. Favorite part of that for me is the restrooms.
Same. Yeah. If you're on a road trip and you're in the South, if you're in Texas, like stop at a Busey's. They've got great restrooms.
Great
It's like,
floor to
Tyler's
ceiling
brain is
doors
exploding.
and walls.
yeah. Oh man,
I love it so much.
You can really just enjoy yourself.
You could just disappear. It's great.
Yeah,
I love it.
absolutely.
So wait,
someone could murder you in complete peace. Yeah,
The goal. I want to die.
But
Bucky's
in
bathroom.
the men's room abuses, do you guys have walls, floor to ceiling
walls.
urinals?
Yes,
'Cause they do, like-
it's the urinal. I
They
almost
have a
said
slightly
urinal.
longer wall.
Yeah,
between
it's like
them.
a short wall. I think. I don't.
Why
remember.
can't you just use a toilet?
That's also an
I
option.
think part of it comes just from efficiency.
I don't get it.
It probably also costs less. This is a corporation. We're
Costs
talking-
less
Yeah.
to have toilets and urinals? Let's think about that.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, we're talking about like restroom
How could
logistics.
it cost less to have two forms of toilets in one?
Because I'm sure a urinal as a whole, rather than a whole commode, costs less by itself. It also uses less water over time because it's washing away a liquid rather than chunks.
No. Your bathroom also has commodes.
Well, he's saying that the urinals don't have commodes.
Most guys don't use the commode. Like most guys will.
So
do their
you're
best to
wasting
avoid-
money
Yes.
by
Maybe.
having toilets in there.
Listen, I have no dog in this fight. I will pee in a bowl. I will pee against a wall that is a urinal.
I just
will pee
think
wherever
everybody
I-
should sit down on a toilet and pee like civilized human beings.
That's yeah, I know.
less pee everywhere, you know?
Have fun waiting
Yeah.
in your bathroom lines.
Hey,
dude.
I will understand that. Yeah, I will say I understand how you feel. I think a lot of people share that viewpoint. I think that we're going to get a lot of people
Disgusting.
that are rallying behind your
I hope
call
they
to
do.
action.
I hope they do. I
Yeah.
want to start a podcast about men sitting down.
We should just have like unisex bathrooms where it's like one room per person, because that makes more sense than
Yeah.
all of us doing our. What are we talking about?
Yeah, we're talking about restroom efficiency at Busey's. Or Bucky's.
You were
however
talking
wanna
about a
pronounce
story
it.
at Wawa, which
Yeah.
I thought,
so-
which I thought was another name for Wally's World.
No. It's a gas station
It's the
convenience
great
store.
gas station,
Mm,
and
It
it's
is
like
great.
it's
It's a
one of those.
favorite.
It's
It's a family
a
favorite.
smaller gas station, but like the coffee that they serve is actually decent. Like it's decent coffee. They have like a whole sandwich station, and you can get like a pretty tasty sandwich there. Yeah, I mean like it's the epitome of like a convenience store without being like that kind of gross like rundown bodega style convenience store that we see like in your classic like 7-Eleven type of thing.
So it's kind of like when like on the road you go to like a Route 66 stop and it has the subway attached.
Sure, okay.
a little bit, but
That
like,
kind of thing, but
Maybe.
all in one.
But all in one.
yeah, and it's also like owned by the Amish.
I feel like
I don't trust the Amish.
I would trust I would trust the Amish.
You should.
I trust them. It's like Busey's forced its way into a 7-Eleven
You can have an aneurysm.
and made a baby.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
agree.
Well, tell me about your story at.
Okay, so
Woo-woos.
Wawa was another frequent place for police officers to like hang out at.
Sure.
And I befriended these guys because they were mostly the local ones, And one of them got a little too friendly with me. Like, I think he had like a little crush on me. Like, he told my brother he wanted to handcuff me to a bed or something. Like, yeah, no. And this was before I was 18. So like, inappropriate.
Yeah.
Totally inappropriate.
Inappropriate when you're not a minor. Very inappropriate when you are.
Right. Me and my brother both looked at each other like, the fuck. So I befriended this guy, but I'm like in high school, so like I ignored the inappropriateness of it. I recognize it, but I'm like, I don't care. I don't think he was that much older than me, but still. So I'm in small town at McDonald's now, not working there, but this is how I know this guy. This is how I know the cop. Waffle House or Wawa's how I know the cop. but I run into him at the parking lot of McDonald's. My friends and I were in a car, and my friends were rolling a blunt. And I walked up to the police officer that I knew, and we were like chatting or whatever. And I was like, "Hey, will you do me a favor and shine your spotlight into that window of that car?"
Oh my God.
You narc.
He couldn't see anything, and even if he did, he couldn't see anything, and he was too distracted by the minor that was in front of him.
Oh my God.
Oink.
I want to make it clear, nothing happened with this guy.
Yeah.
I just recognized an opportunity and took it.
Sure. Yeah, an opportunity to just, scare
To
the
freak
shit
out my
out of your
friends.
friends, to make
Yeah.
them think, oh, they might be going to jail this evening.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
good. It was
man.
really good.
Yeah,
Hartford
mix
County
that
is
with
very boring.
Yeah, mix that with like good old fashioned weed paranoia, and like you've got a real nice Saturday. Yeah. Wow.
I had a great time. I thought it was
I'm sure
hilarious.
you did.
Yeah.
I'm sure your
They were
friends.
fine. Nobody got arrested. The guy didn't even get out of his car. He just like played along, and we laughed. And he probably knew something was up, because I told him to shine his light into my friend's car.
That would have freaked me out.
Yeah.
Like I would have been fine afterwards and been like, haha, but also like,
I spilled all my weed on the floor.
yeah.
No, they were professionals. They didn't drop any weed. We were seasoned.
Seasoned. Yes. Wow. Good times. Well, Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Oh,
today.
that's it? You don't want to hear about my pandemic?
Of course I want to hear about your
Are
pandemic.
you sure? Am I talking too much? Have I
No,
given
no.
you too much
You have not.
gold?
No. Please. I thought we were just kind of wrapping it up, but no. We are good. Let's.
I think we were wrapping up Hartford County.
Wrapping up Hartford County.
That's all.
We're moving down to Texas.
Coming on down to Texas.
And we're
Come
working at a grocery store,
Working at a grocery store.
pandemic style. What
I
you
got
got?
an email from the state of Texas telling me how much money I owed in toll tags. That's all that was.
Oh, gotcha. I was going to say, yeah. So for those that can't see the podcast, Tyler just gave me the strangest side eye. And I was
know.
just
I
like,
was
what
like,
broke?
Drama.
Yeah.
Like,
It was just like, hey, you owe us money. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
States always want our money.
Yeah. Oh, gotta love it. Anyways, pandemic.
Pandemic. Tejas. Grocery store. Okay. So I started working at this grocery store after the pandemic has started. Right? So I was not
Pre-pandemic.
Thank you.
Pre-bodega.
Pre-pandemic. And then, so like there were people who was like used to working there without all the masks, without all the shields, and like they really didn't know how to stand their ground when it came to these customers and staying behind the plexiglass, keeping their masks on. Well, I came into this store like stores providing plexiglass, enforcing masks as much as they could. And just really empowering the employees to like set their boundaries, right? Well, I use the boundaries. Keep your mask on while you're with me at the register and stay behind the plexiglass. And I asked this woman, she kept on coming from behind the plexiglass. I was like, ma'am, if you don't mind just standing behind the plexiglass. My coworkers loved it every time I did this. I didn't do it for them. I did it for me, but they just noticed and was like, slow clap, for the minimum ragers.
Nice. Just got a name for the fans of the podcast.
Yeah.
Minimum Ragers.
Minimum ragers. So, sorry.
No, it's fine. I love that we're just living out your dream of being a shock jock.
Hell yeah. So I was just like, yeah, please stand behind the plexiglass. And she just couldn't do it. And she was obviously not used to a minimum rager standing their ground, like asking for respect, basically, right? And I was like, if you don't mind, just, right? And then she got to a point where she came even closer to me to look at her flowers. Like, we'd already had this conversation, but she just couldn't help herself. And I said, ma'am, please stay behind the plexi. And she pulls her mask down to
Of course.
to tell me, like, to loosen up. Yeah, are you kidding me? Like, I am so tired of this or whatever. Like, loosen up or lighten up or something like that. And I was like, ma'am, I'm just trying to keep everybody safe. And I just calmly walked over to the manager indicator. I don't want to give too many details. I don't want people to know like what grocery store this is.
Sure.
So I called for a manager to come. And I just looked at them when they came. I was like, can you finish this? I got to go to the bathroom. And she was like, yeah, sure. And I just walked away. Like, while this woman is just privilege raging. Yeah. Like, entitled raging. And I think even the man she was with was like, well, she asked you to stand behind the plexi. Like, I overheard, like, my manager told me that she overheard him saying that to her. Like, she asked you to not do that. Like, so there was no, you created this problem, you know?
Yeah.
This woman emailed, like, tried to get my job. Man, that company they were like, no.
Yeah. We have definitely shared that experience.
At our grocery store, the one that me and Andrew worked at, the plexiglass was placed in an awful position.
The worst possible place.
Because to use your card, you had to you couldn't be behind it unless you were, I hope for all those watching, you had to reach your arm over and hook it in.
Yeah, your guy's plexi was dumb.
Like, it was clearly the brand only did it because it was like, yeah, this will make us look good.
Yeah.
So it was like that. I had a story like that. My first night running Register 1. It was the same night I got in trouble because I ran into that money scam dude.
Oh, yeah.
First time Register 1ing on my own. And lady keeps coming up. And she's wearing one of those half face plexi things. It sits on your chest and it covers this much. Doesn't do anything.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Dumb. So dumb.
And at the time, I was, I wasn't used to that. I had worked a job before where I was completely alone. So I was like, hey, you back up. Well, she came around the desk to look at the price, even though we have a computer screen right here. She came around because she wanted to see the breakdown of all the price. And she goes, well, I did this before this damn pandemic. And I'm like, ma'am.
Plandemic.
I know. So anytime we get that just slid in there.
Oh, it's been so long since I've heard that. Plandemic.
And it was one of those things where you kind of just sat and looked at her and you're just like,
yeah.
Go away.
God.
Go
it's
away.
Just it's so exhausting whenever those types of things. So recently I had somebody that was not entirely on the same page with masks and plexiglass and things like that. Our plexiglass never did anything, so it's just one of those.
It was
we
symbolic.
had more as a bulletin board than we do as plexiglass.
I was gonna say it's a place for us to put posters and signs for promotions. It's not actually there to protect anyone. If anything, it's just an obstacle. So recently I actually was working and I was up at the registers and responding to a backup call, and when I got up there, one of my employees was like, hey, can you actually take over? And I was like, sure. So I take over the transaction, as you do. And I immediately see that this woman that I am ringing up is getting very just huffy and puffy, and I'm not really sure why. So I just keep ringing her up just like normal. I try to make small talk, just like, how you doing tonight? Nothing. Okay, cool. Moving on. Not going to hold it against her whatsoever. That's just kind of how it goes. Sometimes people don't want to talk, and that's totally okay. And so I finish ringing her up, and then she throws down a $100 bill. Kind of where the check writing platform is, but past it, into the bagging area, threw down a $100 bill, kind of at me off to the side a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay. And I picked it up and I was like, just to let you know. And the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because there's actually this coin shortage that's going on right now. So what I'm going to do is I can either I've really got a few options. Number one is I can give you all of your paper change back, and then I'll just give you everything that I've got in the drawer, coin-wise. But I'm not sure how much I've got in there right now. It might only be 20 cents or something. Or we can round up your total to the nearest dollar. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to donate that change to the local food bank. I can do that. And she immediately is like, no.
Unacceptable.
No. And I'm just like, okay. And I was like, and then the option 3 is just to use a different form of payment if you have a card. And she goes, no, I'm going to use cash, and you cannot tell me that I can't use cash. And I was like, you're right. I can't tell you. It's a legally accepted tender because this is America and that's a legal currency. Like, yeah, but I'm like, these are my limitations. And she was like, I don't accept your limitations.
I don't accept
Push
your
me on,
reality.
Andrew.
Yeah.
I don't accept your reality.
Yeah, I reject reality.
Yeah.
I submit my own.
Look what I just did.
Nice.
Sorry.
Yeah,
That
look
has
at that
been-
microphone adjustment.
Why didn't you
YouTube.
tell me to do that an hour ago?
You actually moved it from that position when you first started.
It was exactly there.
Yeah. But no worries. It's good. So, yeah, for those that can't see the podcast, yeah, Mary just moved the microphone back to the original position that it started in and then asked, why didn't I tell her to do that? Anyways.
A lot of undiagnosed things over here.
Sure. Yeah, just a good old ADD time. Anyways, so... I'm basically like, okay, well, this is my reality. This is what I can do for you. I was like, I tell you what, let me at least just hit the buttons and see what change I have. And then maybe we can avoid the complication of this whole thing altogether. And she's just like, like throws her hands up. And I'm like, okay. So I open the drawer and I look and I'm like, oh, okay, actually... I was like, if you're okay with nickels, I was like, here's the thing. I can give you all of your change back, but it's going to be pretty nickel heavy because I have no quarters. I have no dimes. I have nickels and pennies, and it's like 70 something cents. But I got plenty of nickels, so I'm going to weigh you down with nickels. But if you're okay with nickels, like I'm going to give you nickels. And she's like, I don't care what you have to give me. I was like,
Oh my God.
okay. And so I finish out her transaction and I'm thinking like, all right, that was, like uncomfortable and difficult and like those types of conversations that no one likes to have. But it kind of went a step further and then she persisted and then started making the accusations. And the accusations that she was making was that I was part of the New World Order. Right.
Oh, I love these conversations.
Yeah. And I was just like, whoa, we went from like 0 to 100 like in 2 seconds, like not even 2 seconds, like a half a second. I was like, here's your nickels. And then she was like, you're the New World Order. And I was like, whoa. I was like, and so like I get like taken aback by it and I start laughing a little bit because I'm just like, there is no way that is like this person came in today and decided that, she has done her research and she's decided to say, I'm going to pay with cash everywhere because I'm not going to let them win. And then who is the them? Who are they?
Who are they? It's
they
you.
are, yeah, it's the
them.
retail workers because they're part of the New World Order. And so my response is like, I was like, man, I just feel like I don't make near enough to
does that come with a pay raise?
Because exactly.
I'm barely allowed to tell my own employees what to do. I can't tell the world what to do.
I was gonna say I have no power trip. I joke all the time with my employees and I say that I'm drunk on power. I am not drunk on power. There is no power at a grocery store. And it's like, you control that. No, I don't control anything. I
press buttons.
I am the puppet behind the register. I am Operation Meat Shield so that, I can put a smile on this company and so that you can, do these things. But it's like, you're part of the New World Order, this, George Soros, Bill Gates, hot button topic issues that are,
God.
and then like kind of just rambles and walks out. And I was just like, whoa.
Is this the woman who didn't pay?
Yeah, actually, you're right. Because when I was telling her all of this, she took all of her stuff, walked out without paying. When I was talking about how I was going to give her nickels, I didn't actually end up giving her nickels. That's right. Because she literally just took her stuff. And it was only like 2 things, which was the other part of the story, which is like
$100 bill for 2 things.
Yeah, for like a
Man,
lip
this is
balm
counterfeit.
and like a chocolate bar or something like ridiculous.
She's part of the New World Order.
I was going to say, whatever it was kind of a brilliant idea because it's like, okay, I'm going to accuse this person of being part of the New World Order. I'm going to take my chocolate bar and my lip balm, and I'm going to get out of here because he's not going to want to follow me.
Cause
It's
chaos.
like, yeah, you win.
My favorite
And leave.
interactions like that are like when the customer is just super rude, just angry through the whole thing, and like not listening to you at all. They slap down a random bill, and you're like, "Oh, you put down a $10. It's actually going to be $10.03. Well, that's all I have. This is not my fucking problem. It's $10.03, or you don't get that."
Yeah, I always try to keep like some change off to the side, but yeah.
I do too. But if you're rude, you don't get access to Community Bank.
Yeah, there you go.
That's for
Take a
comments
penny.
only.
Yeah.
That's how we worked at Michael's. I love how I'm choosing and picking. Michael's also not on the resume,
Yeah.
but we had the coupons,
Right.
and people would be like, "Do you have the coupon?" And if we liked them, like if it didn't seem like they were expecting it, you know what I mean? Like the people who just expect you to have it, the entitled privilege rage, right? When their privilege rage would show, I'd be like, "I don't have it," or "I can't do that," but the people we liked, like, "Oh yeah, hold on, give me a second."
The beep.
Oh,
You're the
good
New
times.
World Order.
Yeah, we're drunk on power.
Drunk
Here we
on
are. Drunk on power and minimum rage.
Minimum rage. Bow, 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 bow.
To control the world, it costs $15 an hour.
That's right.
That's not minimum.
Yeah, minimum wage is actually
Still
less than half of that.
$7.25.
I know.
Yeah,
That's
The
right.
Federal minimum wage is $7.25 still.
Yep.
Right? Or is it
sure
$7.50?
is. It's as far as I know, $7.25. It was $7.15, and then they bumped it up to $7.25, and I'm
know
like,
what-
whoa.
Which is a slap in the face.
You know what
really
I've been
is.
seeing online a lot lately too is how people are saying like we have been having this argument for so long. The actual
Living
like
wage is like 22
it's
or
like
something.
$24 or something.
Yep.
You know,
Is what the actual
The
like,
livable wage.
We've been asking for 15 so long that it's now $7 below what it actually should.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that too. I keep thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, so like if we're really going to open up a conversation about what minimum wage should be, like it should just be a living wage, which let's talk about what a living wage is. Can you
should be able
afford
to
own the things that are kind of a minimum requirement these days? Can you have internet access? Do you have access to a vehicle or at least transportation that's reliable? And then enough to pay rent and food and have some sort of like healthcare. And it's like if that is the requirement, then it's like, yeah, you kind of need to either decrease your cost of living expenses with what we pay these days on average, which is you can probably go out there and find a job between $12 and $15 an hour. And it's like, if you're only making $12 or $15 an hour, you most likely need roommates in order to make that happen.
Oh yeah.
I did it for a little bit, and I have some of the most cheap rent in Dallas, and my apartment shows because of it.
I was going to say, you got a cheap spot.
A very cheap spot. But it is like you are not doing anything fun. You are eating 2 meals a day of ramen, and you are praying that your eighth of a tank of gas lasts 2 weeks because you couldn't afford to pay gas this paycheck.
That's right. That's right. That's how it goes. So, rage with us weekly on this podcast. Minimum rage. My wife, my sweaty wife.
Minimum rage.
Thank
Welcome
you for
to the
joining
union,
us,
everyone.
Welcome to the union. Oh my God, that's amazing. All right, yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up. How's our baby doing? She's still sleeping.
She's
a
knocked
champion.
I mean, it took her a minute to get there, but she's there.
That's awesome. I'm so proud of her. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us today on the Minimum Rage podcast. Thank you to my wife for joining us and telling her stories of working 6 jobs in rural Maryland. And yeah, I agree. It just sounds terrible. But thank you for telling those stories. That was fantastic.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, you guys know what to do. Hit the subscribes and the likes and the buttons on all the social medias for stuff. You know how to do it. I won't walk you through it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.